Jamin and Carl are back at playing the best game in the world.
And we saw some people getting nervous in the YouTube comments. That's because we always read the YouTube comments. No, we saw some people getting nervous if we're ever going to play the other pre-constructed Pioneer decks. But as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail,
we're playing the other two.
Indeed, that's what we're doing. If you want to get our full opinions on these decks, you can go check out last week's video where we discuss prices, competitiveness, just the general feel of how these pre-constructed decks feel. But today we want to get into the gameplay.
Yeah, there's a title, some card somewhere around here. You can click it if you are undecided about which one you want to buy or if you want to buy them. But in the meantime, after this video, we're out of pre-constructed Pioneer decks. We're going back to playing Modern. So please, in the comments below, go down, leave the decks you want us to play. That's where we'll pick from for the next videos coming up. And while you're there, we really require your subscriptions to help us keep going. So if you hadn't liked the video, like the video. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe, please.
And I mean, they already know that they're supposed to subscribe, so we'll get into the games right now.
Let's do that.
So we wanted to keep testing out the Pioneer pre-constructed decks, but Carl really didn't want to play black-white enchantments, so I'm playing the enchantment deck. The name already kind of suggests it, but the deck is working all around enchantments, with the best engine being Shrem, Senior Edificer. That one lets me draw a card for each and every aura that I cast. So the huge risk with having enchantments is of course that you are really easy to 2-for-1 or even 3-for-1. So that's why we carry a lot of protection for the creatures that will carry the enchantments, like for example Selfless Savior, Karametra's Blessing, and even Outside of Life's Bounty. Carl's Spirits deck really doesn't have a lot of main deck ways to deal with our huge lifelink creature that we're about to build, so I'm looking forward to beating him.
Do I look like someone who has time to play the Auras and Enchantments deck? No, I don't have time to play a card. It draws cards, I have to read the new cards, play them again. No, we're turning cards sideways and we're countering some spells. We're playing Spirits. Now, this deck revolves around 1-drops, curves into 2-drops, curves into 3-drops, and then holding up counter spells at the pivotal points where I can just buff my whole team and swing in the air. The game plan is twofold. I want to play 1-drop into 2-drop, into 3-drop, into 2-drop, 2-drop, and just most of my creatures either pump each other up or pump themselves up every time I play a new spirit. Eventually, I'm hoping to turn the corner and deal with lethal damage by turn 4, maybe 5. With that, I'm backing it up with some interaction in 1 Brazen Borrower, 2 Spell Pierce, some more counter magic in the ways of other things to just tempo up my opponent. My deck doesn't really go well late game. I'm just trying to tap on creatures at the key times, counter the key spell, and just kill Jamin before he gets his game plan rolling. Jamin, I hope you brought your enchanted pants because you're gonna need them.
I'm not sure if these are enchanted. They are very comfy though.
Depending on the camera, you could not even be wearing any pants. I wouldn't even know.
True.
All right, are you ready to roll?
Absolutely.
Oh.
That's very high, Carl.
Keep on getting these rolls here. Almost there. Well, I really need it because your deck you're playing this time is quite fast.
Carl, I've got a confession to make.
Oh, no, not one of these.
It is one of these.
Is it one of those matches?
It is one of those matches. And you even knew beforehand because you know the deck list.
Yeah, I do. I was just being silly. Yeah, you got Lotus. Yeah, I mean, this is a definite mull. This line has 1 land. Sorry, you just can't keep it.
I agree.
You as well?
Yeah, this is a mull.
Glad we concur.
This opening hand just kind of sucks all around because the only creature we have isn't even meant to be suited up with all the enchantments, no protection. Nah, not a good hand. We'll ship it.
Okay, ready to play with Clipped Wings? That means 6 cards.
I think Clipped Wings is actually a card that makes your opponent sacrifice a flying creature.
Please don't play it against me. That feels like a good card against me.
Yeah, no, it's also green, so I don't think.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing with that. You know, with the new Innistrad lands, it's really hard to tell by sight of your hand which land you have in your hand. They're gorgeous, but it kind of makes it harder to pick if you want to keep your hand or not on the fly. I think I'm gonna mulligan. Oof. I'm gonna mulligan again.
Mulligan again.
Yeah. Now I could hope to draw planes, but if I just keep those 2 blue lands in hand, I have a lot of multicolored spells. If it just rattle chains into Lofty Denial, I'm not putting enough pressure. Counting Jamin's spells isn't that relevant because he cycles through them so much. I can't keep this hand. It just doesn't have enough velocity and it just risks losing too hard. We're going down to 5.
Mulligan again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep again. No, that doesn't even make any sense. This is the exact kind of hand you want with this deck because you have early plays that also act as protection later on. You have the SRAM and you have enchantments to follow it up. Let's keep this, and I'm gonna put the Hateful Eidolon on the bottom because I really don't see Carl killing any of our creatures.
With 2 clipped wings now.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to fly, Carl.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to keep this.
All right, I imagine spirits will still be able to fly.
This 5 is actually pretty solid. If I get rid of a redundant island and my Empyrean Eagle, I get to play land into my cost reduction spell. Next turn, I play Shacklegeist and the Cleric, and then I get to attack in for 4, tap down a creature with the Shacklegeist, continuously tap down his biggest lifelinker, and just have to race them from there. It's actually probably better than a lot of 7s I could draw. All right, so I'm gonna clip, clip,
Clip, clip, clip, clip.
and I go first.
Sure.
I'm gonna play a beautiful island.
Yes.
Pass the turn to you.
All right. I'll draw a card. Oh, does it feel good having 7 cards in hand? Jeez.
To my 4.
And I will cast a Hateful Eidolon. It doesn't only have lifelink. It also has whenever an enchanted creature dies, draw a card for each aura you controlled that was attached to it, letting me get value off of my enchantment.
So let's see how this goes. Is it my turn?
Yeah, let's go.
I will draw. I will play a Plains. Another beautiful Plains, yet it's hard to tell apart from the island. Then I will cast a Watcher of the Spears. I'll also give this a read. It has flying, it's a 2/2. Creature spells with flying that I cast cost 1 less to cast. And so most of my deck costs 1 or 2 now. And whenever another creature with flying enters the battlefield under my control, this card gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
So Carl's Watcher is kind of scary because it could enable him to just dump his hand onto the table next turn and get really aggressive. However, it also opens up the window for us to just deploy our SRAM because Carl's deck really doesn't have a lot of removal, not at all actually. So both of our turn 2 plays are really scary.
I'll pass the turn over to you.
I'll untap. I'll draw. Does this change things? I don't think it does. I'm gonna play Plains.
Okay.
I'm gonna play a SRAM.
Oh, so much card advantage.
So much
it's
card
also
advantage.
a very, very pretty SRAM.
Yeah. And I will not declare any attacks.
Yeah, that will be very good. You gain 1 life, but I will untap.
Yes.
Draw for turn. Easy, like we wrote it up. My plan here is just play my Shacklegeist, play my Cleric, attack in for 4, tap down his lifelinker every turn. I think we've got a good path to victory here. I will play Plains. I will cast a Shacklegeist for 1.
Oof.
This will give +1/+1 to my Watcher of the Spheres.
It does.
I will then tap a Plains and play a Remorseful Cleric for 1.
Yep.
This will give +1/+1 to my Watcher of the Spheres.
It does.
I will then declare attacks.
Sure.
I'll swing it at you for 4.
That's a lot of damage.
It is quite a bit.
First blood.
First blood.
Down to 16.
You are. And that'll be my turn for now.
I really didn't want to see that Shacklegeist because Shacklegeist is a repeatable way to tap down our biggest creature, and I cannot afford to spend a protection card like Karametra's Blessing or an Alcide every time that Carl tries to tap something down. So that's really scary. I'll untap and take a draw. That Shacklegeist
It's good.
It is very good. I'll cast a Cartouche of Solidarity onto my Hateful Eidolon.
Okay.
Which first of all draws me a card.
So many triggers.
So many triggers.
This will be such a pain to edit.
I will draw a card off of that. So then this one enters the battlefield.
Okay.
It creates a 1/1 soldier with vigilance.
All right. Pretty token. Where can you get these?
I got these off of Cardmarket because they're Cardmarket's tokens.
Because we have a large range of very pretty alternate art tokens that we make ourselves that you can buy on the website.
It's such a coincidence that we have all these tokens available while we're on the Cardmarket YouTube channel.
We'll put a link to the tokens below. You can peruse through them and find ones you like. But let's get back to the game.
In the meantime, I'll play Swamp. I will move to attacks.
I will trigger before attacks. I will tap my Shacklegeist and Remorseful Cleric, and I will tap your Hateful Eidolon.
That's very hateful. I think it's getting even more hateful now that it's tapped.
Now I'm just upset.
And I will go and attack with the SRAM.
I'll take 2.
Down to 18 you go.
18. Catching up.
I'll follow this up with an Outside of Life's Bounty and a Stone Coil Serpent where X equals 1. I decided to play the Stone Coil Serpent for X equals 1 because I really need to develop my board against Carl's flyers. This one does not only block the Watcher for ages, it also threatens to trade with any X1 spirits that Carl might attack with.
So I'll untap. I'll draw for turn. We're gonna have to get rid of that Stone Cold Sword. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. It has protection from monocolored, so I can't get in with my my beater that gets bigger. So the plan is, we've got 2 plans. Either we start tapping 2 cards a turn, and then Jamin's board gets wider and there's not much we can do to defend it, he'll just snowball. Or I just try to race him. Let's get in with the Shackle Geist. Possibly he'll block, most likely he won't. We can start tapping down the lifelinker, threatening some blocks, and eventually, if I have enough creatures in the air and draw enough pumpers, maybe 2 a turn, I can just turn the corner real quick. I'm going to get in at you with my Shackle Geist.
Yeah, that's 2 damage.
Boom!
Down to 14.
14. I'll play 1 more Shackle Geist.
That's a lot of Shackle Geists.
Quite a few. Then I'll pass the turn to you.
That's suspicious, but also not the worst. I'll untap.
Yes.
I'll take my draw. So my game plan right now is to keep developing large threats so Carl cannot tap all of them down at the same time with the Shackle guys. Luckily, Shram keeps giving me fuel with cards over and over again whenever I cast an enchantment. I'll play a Plains.
All right.
I'll use that to cast another Outside of Life's Bounty. So many. And then I'd like to move to attacks.
I'm going to tap down your Eidolon with my Shackle Geist and my Remorseful Cleric again.
Sure. Anyways, I'll move on to my second main phase and...
Oh, wow! Oh, dodged attack!
And I'll just put this Lotus into my hand.
Ugh. So what's in your graveyard right now?
Not a lot,
You
Carl.
don't say! Okay, I'm confident with that right now. All right.
Go ahead.
I will untap. Draw for turn. I will go on ahead and attack with my 2 Shackle Geists.
I guess I'll take 4 damage.
Down to 10.
Down to 10. Halfway there.
And the 3rd of the Free Stooges is going to come out now. I will play another Shackle Geist.
Wow.
The Shackle Geist, Destiny's Child over here. My Watcher of the Spheres gets pumped until end of turn. And I will once more, Jamin and Carl, pass the turn to you.
I will untap.
Yes.
And then I will draw. All right, we got somewhere, Carl.
Okay, no.
We are getting somewhere.
I was so comfortable with where we were.
I see. Noel, you're not going to be that comfortable that much longer because I'm going to put a Griff Spoon onto the Outside of Life's Bounty, which triggers SRAM.
You get triggers, yes, yeah.
So I get to draw a card, and then this potentially resolves.
It does. So now your Outside of Life's Bounty is a 2/1 flying?
Exactly.
All right.
And I will play a Swamp and go to combat.
I will use these 2 to tap your Lifelinker once more.
It is successfully tapped. And attack with both outsides. Why not? The soldier token can also get into the red zone.
Okay, getting dirty. I'm gonna go in and use the Watcher of Spheres to block the Outside of Life's Bounty.
I imagine something like that, Carl. I will...
Oh no, clever plays.
Clever plays, potentially. I will Karametra's Blessing
So
the
it gets
outside.
+2/+2.
Exactly, it gets +2/+2, and that way it's a 3/3.
All right, so this dies, and I'll go ahead and take 3.
Yeah, exactly. So you're down to 15, and I
15.
gain 5 life going back up to...
How so?
Both of these have lifelink.
That's not good for me.
That's why I had to attack with a smaller eyesight too, because otherwise this puts me up to 12. If you play a Lord, that's exactly 12 damage.
I know, I was planning on getting you with the March of the Valkyries over here. 15 all.
15 all, and then I'll follow that up with a Lotus.
That's quite good.
And then I'll pass the turn.
I'll untap my team. Draw for turn. Playing Empyrean Eagle.
All right.
You called it. It's like you saw through the top card of my library. So if I attack with everything here, you block one with the Serpent, you take 9. I'm just gonna have to keep a load of cards up.
Sure.
Pass the turn to you.
All right, I'll untap. And now this is an interesting turn, Carl. But first, let me draw a card. Okay, I somehow have to get more cards into my hand, so sacrificing the L side is actually really good, because not only does it trigger the Hateful Eidolon, it also puts another enchantment into my graveyard, which I can recast with Lotus to draw another card off SRAM. I'm gonna spend 1 mana to sacrifice this outside of Life's Bounty, targeting the Lotus.
Okay.
So that also gives me a trigger of the Hateful Eidolon.
On the stack. Whilst all 3 are on the stack, I will tap these 2 to tap down the Lotus.
Yes, it is successfully tapped.
Okay, I think we have no choice but to let Jamin do his shenanigans here. I could get cute and try to exile the graveyard, but I think the only out in turning the corner with big pump spells on all my flyers is to tap down the Lifelinkers, keep back the Banisher Priest to block anything that might get out of hand to be able to sack it to exile and responsive damage, not letting Jamin gain too much life if it's bigger than 3, I think. Anything 3 or less, we're just gonna let go by and hope that we draw into something big enough to pump and attack.
So now I will draw a card off the Hateful Eidolon.
Yes.
And then
Lotus gets protection
from, let's say, blue.
Oh, okay.
And then the stack is empty.
Yes. Ready to go. Round 2.
Round 2. Round 2 is playing a swamp. And then casting another Griff Spoon on this L side.
You have triggers.
I do have a single trigger, actually.
I would like to respond to... So you've got the draw trigger on the stack and this trigger on the stack. I would like to tap both Shackle Geasts and tap down the L-Seed.
The L-Seed is tapped down, so now I draw a card off of the SRAM.
Yes.
And then I will make use of my Lotus to cast a permanent spell from my graveyard with CMC 2 or less, which is this Griff Spoon, attaching it to this Hateful Eidolon, which gives me another SRAM trigger.
All right.
So I'll draw another card.
Just keep them rolling.
Keep them rolling. This one gets attached. And then I will move to combat, attacking only with the Hateful Eidolon.
So could you give me its current stats?
It is currently a 3/3 first strike.
I'll take the 3-point swing.
All right.
So I'm at 12, you're at 18.
Exactly. And I'll follow that up with another SRAM.
Woo! Just in motion!
Go ahead.
All right. I will do your trick. It usually works for you, calling upon the one time. One time.
What would the one time even be? You need 2 cards, I think.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it. Well, I don't know your middle name, but I hope your full name is Jamin Patient Kauf because I'm shipping it back to you immediately.
Oh, yes.
No action on my side.
I like the side of that. I'll untap. I'll take a draw. That's something, Carl.
Okay, what are you going to do with the oil spill of a board of yours?
You can tap everything once, right? But
yes,
you can't tap things. I mean,
I can tap currently
tap
2
twice.
things.
Yeah, you can tap twice. All right. All right. Let's start things off by returning this outside.
Okay.
So I use Lotus.
Yes.
I will then cast an Ethereal Armor targeting the Stone Coil Serpent.
I am going to attempt to tap a Shacklegeist and a Remorseful Cleric using the ability to tap your Stone Coil Serpent.
I mean, sure. I'll sack this outside targeting the Stone Coil.
Okay, that's going to be too big, so I'm going to have to act here and pay 2, flash in a Rattle Chains.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to tap it and a Shacklegeist in attempt to tap your Stone Coil Serpent.
All right. I mean, if we're picking this fight, yes, I'll sacrifice this other outside. So currently there are a bunch of triggers on this deck because this Hateful Eidolon triggers. I will draw a card, and this triggered twice already. So I'll try once again to protect this.
Okay, I believe you have me in a checkmate here because it's going to be so big that swinging would kill me. But I'm kind of forced to tap. So I'm kind of forced to tap it down. But then that leaves me dead to all your other creatures. So let's just hope that with the power you have on board with everything else, you can't get there. So I'm just gonna F9 after tapping the Stone Coil Serpent.
It is tapped, Carl.
It is successfully tapped. I picked my battle. I will die on this hill.
All right, I'll draw 3 cards: 2 of the Srams and 1 of the Hateful Eidolon.
Yes.
1, 2. Yes, this is what we like to see. Ooh, that's exactly what we needed. I'll play a Plains, I guess, and I will. I'm sorry, Carl, but this went badly. I'll play All That Glitters.
Oh no!
Targeting the Lurus, I guess.
Do your damage. Do your thing.
Yes, I'll draw 2 cards. Actually, that's what I'll do. Yes, let's go. Let's go.
Still had all these.
Still had all these. I'll cast an Ethereal Armor.
Do your attack.
Attack. Attack.
Boink.
Attack.
All right. So you go up 20. You go to 38. I go down 25.
Yeah. Minus 13. And that's
Minus
game 1.
13, that's game 1. Game 2. Wow.
Carl, that matchup really wasn't great for you. Like, game 1, you just didn't... No. I think you might need a new deck. Do you know where you could get that?
I do.
You do?
Karma Crow.
At Karma Crow!
Who sponsors his videos by providing us with all the cards. Not only do they have Pioneer cards, they also have Commander cards. Anything for your standard deck. You have a Modern F&M, they're your buddy. You just send them a deck list. They probably have all the cards. You pay shipping only once, get the cards in your house within 3 days.
Seriously, we're not kidding about their inventory. These pre-constructed Pioneer decks, they released today. We didn't record this today, we recorded this in advance, and Karma Crow just had all the cards for us to borrow so we can play test this matchup beforehand.
Even the pretty tokens, but let's get into game 2. It's my turn to switch this around. Okay, sideboards. We're gonna stick to our main plan of just try to snowball out a bunch of huge beaters that are hard to block. But instead of the backup plan of counterspelling key spells, Jamin just draws a huge velocity of cards, and usually his cards are on the table before my counterspells are relevant. So we're gonna shift it around, take out all of the counterspells and the Rattle Chains because we're not gonna be protecting against that many removal spells, I think, in his deck. Maybe a Fatal Push or 2, but we don't have that many key cards. So we're gonna take out 3 Rattle Chains, not all of them, leave 1 in just for surprise purposes, and take out 2 of the Spell Pierce and all of the Lofty Denials, and bring in a removal suite. We're gonna bring in 3 Isolates, some Silk Wraps, some Castaway, the other removal spell that can pump our creature or destroy an enchantment. We're just gonna get rid of all the key creatures he has on board and his SRAMs, prevent him from getting me with card advantage, and just try to chip in damage with with attackers that are in the air, or eventually just snowball and kill him on turn 4 or 5 if all goes well. We'll see.
So for sideboarding, I really dislike the Selfless Saviors because Carl's deck doesn't have any removal that destroys, and we're not likely interacting in combat either, so I'm just gonna take those out. Also, Sentinel's Eyes is a nice enchantment, but Vigilance is not hugely relevant, and I think I do have enough recursion in the form of Lurus and stuff like that. Cards like Duress and Thoughtseize will protect my creatures much better than Selfless Savior ever could, and the deadweights are there to deal with those annoying spirits that Carl has, ideally stuff like Shacklegeist, but also just some of the other spirits that are flying around. Also really nice recursion with Lurus. Carl, I've got a confession to make.
Go ahead.
It's the same confession as in game 1.
Oh no!
It is once again Alurs. I didn't board it in.
It would be crazy if you surprised me and had another Can you do that? Can you have 2 different companions? And just
Probably.
switch it up?
I mean, if you successfully fulfill the criteria.
Psychological edge. I'm going to go first.
Sure.
I wish you a good hand. No mulligans. Not for you. No siree. You know what, I'm gonna keep... Okay, this hand is a bit land heavy, but we have a Spectral Sailor. I know we don't want to be paying 4 mana to draw cards against Jamin, who plays 1 mana, gets enchantments, and draw cards. But if we play the Spectral Sailor and then untap with maybe the Rattle Chains, and then start tapping down his Lifelingers, if we really don't draw into gas, we can use a Spectral Sailor to start drawing cards. It has the potential to snowball and just be... On game 3, we can get cute. On this turn, we're just hoping to draw some velocity with creatures that'll pump the team and eventually just shut the door really, really quickly. Let's count on this while we're on the play.
Wow, that's daunting. That's real intimidating. That's a terrible sign for me.
Just a regular keep on 7 is a terrible sign for you?
Yeah, this hand's close, but I have to ship it away.
Oh, it's your turn.
So while this hand does have a SRAM, it doesn't have anything else going on really and way too many lands, so I'm just gonna go down to 6.
It's a risky hand.
Well, hopefully mine is less risky.
Okay,
Take
go
2. Perfect. Once again, this is basically like the last 6-card hand I had in game 1. Because it has a SRAM, it has early plays, it has everything that I want. Once again, I'm going to bottom the Hateful Eidolon because my creatures don't really naturally die in this match. I have decided to put this card on the bottom, Carl. Do you think that's a wise choice?
No.
All right, well, we'll see how it plays out.
I'm just going to play an island, pass the turn.
That's suspicious, Carl.
What am I playing?
I'll play a Concealed Courtyard. I don't conceal what I'm playing, because I'm playing outside of last
do I? I'll respond with a Spectral Sailor.
That's crazy!
Wild.
Go ahead.
I will
Wild?
Wild. I was conflicted between 2 words. I'm gonna play a Plains. I will hit at you for 1.
First blood!
Get him rolling.
19.
And I'll... You know what? Keep on concealing. Like your Courtyard, I'll pass the turn.
Untap. Draw. I will... So those 2 open mana on Carl's side looking kind of suspicious, so I'm gonna keep off on the SRAM for now and hope to find a better opportunity maybe next turn. Go to combat.
All right.
Attack with the outside.
Oh, that just undoes my hit. So you're at 20, I'm at 19.
Yeah, we just flipped life totals. What a powerful effect. Exchange life totals between players. I'll play Plains.
Yeah, that usually costs 6 mana.
Yeah, true. I'll play Plains and I'll play another outside.
All right.
Go ahead.
End of turn, I will cast a Rattle Chain.
That's so unexpected, Carl.
So unexpected. What was I doing to 2 mana? Oh, it just lands in my hand.
That Rattle Chains makes it so Carl can keep up mana forever, so I will never feel safe again deploying that SRAM.
I will draw.
Yes.
I'll play an island.
That's 3 lands in total you got there.
It is. I will declare attacks. Swing in for 2.
Yep, 18.
Back down. Winning the race now. I'll pass the turn to you. Okay, we have to put up a clock, but I think we can kind of get Jamin here. I'll still swing in for 2 with the Rattle Chains, and I have the option of flashing in a Shackle Geese. He probably thinks I have a bunch of different creatures I can bring in. Ideally, I'm keeping back the 1/1 blocker in the Spectral Sailor. So he thinks that I'm going to block one of his Eidolons, possibly yes, use one on the other. What I'm planning to do is bait him out into playing an All That Glitters, an Ethereal Armor onto one of them, thinking he can get through my blocker, get in for some damage, and just cast away it. And if he plays around that and doesn't attack, I'm just going to play the Rattle Chains, Shackle Geese.
I'll untap. And I will take a draw. Well, if that's not convenient, I would like to deadweight your Rattle Chain.
Oh, that's so mean.
It is very mean. That's where my name comes from.
Jamin and Carl?
I have no idea.
Not in any language. It will be dead.
All right, that's nice.
That's so good with Floris.
Thank you.
You did not create this deck.
So since this deadweight resolved, I don't think that Carl has either of Rattle Chains or a counterspell in hand, because he would have used both of these kind of cards to protect his first Rattle Chains. So I think I'm safe to deploy SRAM right here. I will play Caves of Koilos.
All right.
I'd like to move to attacks.
Okay.
I won't attack. And then I will cast a SRAM.
Oh, that's so annoying. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, yes!
Oh,
Let's go, Carl, let's go. Actually, let's go, it's your turn.
Come on, get on it. You are Jamin patient. Woo, Jamin Carl, that was really clever. He sniffed out my Shackle Geese in hand, killed the Rattle Chains. I was like, no problem, I'll just cast away his attacker. Didn't attack, now I just wasted my turn. I will draw for turn.
Yep.
I'll just go ahead and tap 3 to play an Empyrean Eagle.
All right.
And I guess we'll stay on blocks for now.
Let's go! I'll take a wild draw. It's actually just a regular draw, I'm sorry. I don't know what got into my vocabulary there. I'll play Plains first,
okay.
First things first, and then I will cast an All That Glitters, targeting one of my outsides.
That's very good.
Does that, like, so first,
yeah,
sorry.
So first you get to draw a card.
I do. I didn't communicate my triggers
properly. Let's do this properly, yeah.
And then this one goes straight into play.
It does.
And then, I'll even Thoughtseize you, Carl.
Oh, rude. You get to pick between Shackle Geese or a Cast Down.
Wow, both of these are surprisingly annoying. I think it has to be the Shackle Geese.
All right, because that one's repeatable.
Yeah. And then to finish things off, with me knowing your hand, I'm gonna tap this Plains too to put an Ethereal Armor on that other outside, which also lets me draw a card. And then I go to combat and I attack with these two.
Huge team. Yeah, I believe this is going to be a short game, Jamin.
We'll see.
So I will take it all.
All right, go down to 9 and I go up to 26. Sitting pretty. Go ahead.
You are. I will untap. Draw for turn. I will go ahead and while all your mana is tapped out, I will try to exile the Alseed that has the All That Glitters.
Absolutely. It is gone.
Then I will go ahead and swing at you for 4.
Down to 22.
Oh, down to 22 sounds so sad. And I'll play a Mausoleum Wanderer.
All right.
Pass the turn.
I'll untap. I will draw a card for the turn. Oof. Oh, Carl, you don't even have cards in hand.
No, I don't.
All right.
Oh, did you draw another Thoughtseize?
No, I didn't, but I drew another All That Glitters, which I will put on my SRAM. All right, this SRAM is just like my insurance that I'm gonna win this game, because I don't see how Carl has an answer to it, and I'm just gonna keep playing enchantments over and over and over.
All right.
But first, let me draw a card.
Yes, you will.
And I will go to attacks.
Okay.
Attack with both of them.
So this is currently 4 lethal.
It is.
I will block the SRAM.
All right, so you only take 4.
Yes. I go down to 5,
I go
and
to
you
26.
get back up.
I'll play Caves of Koilos and put this Lotus into my hand. You know,
okay.
I've got to have a backup plan.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I go?
Yes.
It's not looking good for me. I will draw for turn. It's not looking that bad for me. I will exile, using isolate your Alseed.
All right, all right. It's a start.
That is a start. I will hit at you for 2.
Sure. 24.
And I'll pass the turn to you.
I'll untap. And I'll take a draw. I'll cast my Lures.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yeah?
And then I will, so with my Lures, I will cast this Deadweight from my Graveyard, which draws me another card off the
Yes,
SRAM.
what are you targeting?
I'm targeting the Spectral Sailor.
Okay. Draw your card and then Before this resolves, I will go ahead and draw off of the Spectral Sailor.
Sure.
Okay. So I draw a card.
Yep.
Spectral Sailor's dead. Wait.
The weight also returns to the graveyard.
Yes.
And then I'll take one.
Oh, do you have just enough to do this? 23?
23 to cast another outside.
Okay.
So then I will hit at you for 4.
Go down to 1.
Go down to 1.
Ooh, this is close.
I'm not sure if I would call it close, but you're very close to dead.
Yeah, it's not close in the way that we're neck to neck. It's close to in the way that they're reeling me down into my grave. I'm going to untap, draw for turn. I see no way out of this, Jamin. But I'm gonna go down with a punch, with a swing. Good on kicking, I'll play my Shackle Geist.
Sure.
I'll play my Supreme Phantom. Not so supreme right now.
Not so supreme right now.
Feeling more like the Shackle Geist. I'm going to pass the turn.
Alright, I'll untap. And I will...
Are you ready to shenanigan?
I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready to shenanigan. I will sacrifice this outside targeting the SRAM.
I will tap it down, give it protection from...
Yeah, I'll give it protection
yeah.
from blue afterwards. I will replay this outside from the graveyard. I'll sacrifice it again, giving this Lurrus protection from blue, and swing at you for 3.
Do it. Good games.
Good game.
What a known! Lurrus is a good magic card!
I mean, you could have played it yourself, but instead, you decided to stick to some 3-mana, 2/3 flying eagle.
I don't decide what comes in the box, yeah.
That is true.
Listen, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see us play the other 2 decks against each other, click here. If you want to see us discuss all 4 decks together, which ones beat which, the strategies behind them, how much you need to invest to make the deck competitive, click here.
Yeah, and if you want to see more paper gameplay, then you'll probably have to wait until next week, but not to miss the video, I suggest you subscribe.
It's a great idea, Jamin. Really clever guy. Good at playing Lurrus, good at telling people to subscribe, good at telling people we'll see them next week.
Yeah, let's try that out right now.
See you next week!